AI is getting pretty crazy right now, and if you're anything like me, you're getting a bit worried that the AI is going to take over the world. So you might be wondering, is there anything that you can do to save the world other than share memes and encourage your friends to read Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality? Well, I am going to try to answer that question in the affirmative by showing you about mechanistic interpretability, which, according to Stanford Existential Risks Initiative, someone can learn and take action in as little as 10 hours. I'm hoping that's true for me. We'll see. In the course of this video, I hope to answer the questions of, do I find it fun? I'm hoping the answer is yes. And have I significantly gained skills which can be useful for saving the world? Let's see. Some background on myself to start out with. I am a first-year computer science student at Northwestern University, and I have read lots and lots of posts on Less Wrong, including the entirety of Rationality from AI to Zombies. I don't really think that means I'm a fancy person with lots of knowledge. I still have lots to learn and don't feel like I can currently make research progress, but that is what this 10 hours is for. I have my 10-hour countdown here. I had a few false starts on the video, so now I'm re-recording, so that's why it's down 30 minutes already. I'd also like to show you this 200 concrete problems in interpretability spreadsheet. And you'll notice that this existing work column, where if the problems were solved, there'd be things here, it's very empty. That's worrying. I mean, you can't directly go from this to a probability of doom, but I think that if there was less probability of doom, this thing would be more filled out. So the goal is to get good enough to contribute here. I'm past my first hour. I've been watching this video, What is a Transformer? And I can't watch it on a higher speed. I've had to put it on 1x speed and pause it multiple times, very often, to really understand it. A lot of it's still going over my head. He keeps referencing another video he's done when I thought that this one was supposed to be the introduction. It does seem like it's supposed to be the introduction. Okay, so I finished the first video. I've 8 hours and 15 minutes left. Some thoughts on that first video. He mentioned it was fun to go around poking inside the models. I hope I have the same experience. He mentioned that there's low-hanging fruit, which is great. Another thing, I hope that the statistics knowledge isn't too important because I am going to take my first statistics class in the fall. My statistics knowledge is mostly limited to 3 blue, 1 brown videos, which is not enough. I'm currently a bit confused about where to go. I watched this video, which is part 1 of 2, so I was thinking maybe the second video, but then it doesn't say to watch the second video, it says to watch this, it says to skim through this demo. But maybe I should read this entire page first. I think I'll do that. It's not that long. Seems wise. I didn't get very far before seeing another introduction. I think I'll just continue reading, but all these introductions are getting overwhelming. I have a little sidetracked here with GPT Trick Golf, where you use the properties of transformers to trick the AI into giving a secret key it's not supposed to give. I'm stuck on 17 and 18. I binary searched my way up. I'll get them, hopefully, eventually. This quick start guide is giving me 2 options. One is to keep learning skills and learning about interpretability, and the other is to just pick a problem and try to use the minimum tools there are in order to make progress on that problem. I'm going to go with the second one. It sounds like a fun challenge, and I'll see how I can do. The first step is going to be choosing one of those problems from that spreadsheet. I've decided to go with the problem of calculating sequences with Fibonacci-style recurrence. I love the Fibonacci sequence, who doesn't? and it's listed as a beginner problem, and this is the one that speaks to me the most. So let's see if I can make some progress on it. This quick start guide says that if I watch along with the video for implementing GPT-2 from scratch and go along with it in the Colab notebook, that I will understand transformers well. And I want to understand transformers well. I am a computer science student who wants to specialize in artificial intelligence. So I know it's a time commitment. It's not necessarily required as part of this. They do say it's optional, but I think that this is important for me to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch that video. I'm going to code GPT-2. Okay, it's getting late. Let's reflect and then get to bed. I was a bit disappointed at how high level the tutorial still is. They want you to get a deep understanding of what's going on in the neural networks, but I'm feeling like just using these libraries that do fancy statistics and tensor arithmetic is robbing me of some understanding. I tried to preempt him on one of the functions using the linear algebra, and so I wrote it up, and then he just goes and uses some fancy function import instead of showing us how to really do the math ourselves. I guess this is the level that his work relies on. This is the level that mechanistic interpretability needs. So I hope I'm getting enough understanding as it is. Some of the terminology is still confusing to me. I had to just look up batch size again. I think I get it now. This is challenging for me. Let's reflect. Am I having fun? Yes. Would I do this if I weren't being extra pushed by doing this vlog and applying to SariMats? No, probably not. Maybe slowly over the course of weeks instead of trying to cram it into 10 hours in 5 days. Writing tests good. I'm feeling like I'm supposed to know what batch, position, and demodel are, like, really deeply, but I don't really get it. Batch is the number of samples you take at a time per training step. I don't know why you would make a dimension of like batch. Position, I think it's token position. So like, you have a sentence with 3 tokens, then that's 3 positions. And demodel, dimension model, just how big it is or something. I don't know. I'm trying to go to this document here to figure it out. I noticed there's a lot of ping-ponging between different sources and trying to find information. It would be nice if it was more linear. I've switched to watching this video on the mathematical framework of transformers. I think that'll help me more than trying to follow along with the GPT-2 tutorial, which seemed to just be calling lots of methods that I didn't understand and didn't really know what he was doing. So let's try this, and I'll keep you posted for when I get stuck. I have my fruit snacks, I have my 5.5 hour timer, and I have a 3-hour video about mathematics of transformer circuits. I hope this seems like a fun Saturday. That's not sarcastic, this is actually going to be fun. I hope I can keep this on ×2 speed so I can get through this in 1.5 hours instead of 3 hours, because 3 hours would be a big chunk of my timer, and I hope to get started working on that Fibonacci problem. Let's do this. I'm past 5 hours in. If I weren't having fun, I would stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Right now, I'm still watching that video on the math behind transformers. It's going much slower than I had wanted because I am having trouble understanding. So I'm trying to make my own example for what each of the things mean, each of the steps, what they're doing. There's lots of details that are missing, but I think that this is helping me understand. So yeah, that's one of my other questions. Did I learn anything? The answer is very much yes. I am learning how transformers work. It's slow going. It's a hard to learn subject, but I'm making progress. At least I feel like I'm making progress, which is all I have access to. With 4 hours left, my plan is to do 1 more hour of just trying to learn about how transformers work, and then I'm going, for the last 3 hours, I am going to do my hardest on solving the problem with the tools provided. An interesting thing I've noticed is that I've heard that AI alignment researchers want more theoretical physicists to go into their field instead of spending all their time on string theory that gets nowhere. And I think that I see the connection. There's right now the video is talking about bottleneck activations, which are unusually challenging to interpret. And I see the connection with trying to discover physical laws or create equations for our observations of things that we didn't previously understand. And yeah, it does seem like an entire universe of physics here that we currently don't understand, but that we need mathematical models for. Am I interpreting this correctly, that interference maps multiple features to similar or the same vectors, and that normally isn't a problem, but I feel like adversarially you can find some weird things happening. Like in the example, you could give it some Python code, but like adversarial Python code that results in it, instead of giving you Python code, it gives you the teenage vampire novel. And of course that one's just like a fictional example, but I feel like that is a security flaw. An interesting one. Okay, we've reached the 3-hour mark. I took a bit of a detour to look into tensors, PyTorch, and automatic differentiation. I think that the automatic differentiation isn't that important for what we're doing, but the PyTorch and the tensors are going to be important. And let's get started trying to use the tools, the transformer lens, and figure out the Fibonacci sequence with transformers. I'm an hour into my 3 hours of working on the problem, and I've been reading the Colab notebooks for most of that hour, but now I've changed something. The first step is to check that the model actually does the task, and if I give it 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, it only gives a probability of 3% to the next one being 8. It much prefers 6 with a probability of 71%. I'll keep playing around with it, see which conditions make it do the Fibonacci sequence, and we'll see if I can figure some stuff out. I found that giving it the part of the sequence that goes 1, 2, 3 is kind of unfair because it thinks that it should be 4. I mean, that makes sense. The sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 is extremely common, but I've been giving it more and more context, telling it that it's a Fibonacci sequence and giving it more numbers, and it's still struggling, so we'll see. I've tried giving it bigger numbers of the Fibonacci sequence that are further along in the sequence. I've tried defining the Fibonacci sequence for it so it would know what I was talking about, and none of this seems to work for it to understand that that's what I'm asking for. So I guess I'll keep trying. Now I'm trying to sequence on some of the other models from OpenAI, and some of them get it, like DaVinci gets it. Some of them get it and give some extra text. I guess that's how they're set up. But many of them just don't understand it. They just repeat the same thing back to me, or give me a completely wrong sequence. Like it was 10, 12, 15, 20. They're just counting the... I don't even know what sequence that is. It's not counting by 2s or 5s, and then it goes down to count by 10s. Yeah, don't know what that's about. So, I'm not sure how to deal with that when I can't get it to do the task I want it to do. Interesting. I'll look into it. I just realized I don't know how to input something to a model and just get its response like normal in these Colab notebooks. That seems important, and I want to be able to do that, so I will try to figure that out. This project by someone else was on how a transformer takes a max, which seems superficially similar to what I'm doing, and it, the way they solved it was that they created their own network that was made to take the max. So they didn't try using the GPT too small or large to do it. They created their own special network, extremely simple. They found that it only took one head, and I think that I will try copying their work, changing how the network works, so having a different loss function, different training examples, and then seeing if I can get it to do Fibonacci. Unfortunately, I'm at 20 minutes left, or fortunately for my schoolwork that I've been putting off, it's 20 minutes left. I have been attempting to modify that integer maximum notebook in order to turn it into a Fibonacci sequence notebook. I've been having some trouble because I would have to change lots of things about it. Right now I've been trying to change the loss function in order to properly take the loss with Fibonacci instead of with the maximum, and I'm having some trouble because of tokenizing. Right. Nanda warned me that tokenizing would be a pain, and it's getting in the way because I'm feeling like, do all of my inputs and outputs have to be just one token, or else I can't judge how well they did? Or do I just tokenize the thing I'm comparing it to also? I don't really know. I'll be figuring that out, I guess, for the next 18 minutes. Okay, time is up. Yippee! When the timer went off, I was trying to test my loss function. It took a while to load the previous cells, but now I can just test if it compiles, I guess, or is interpreted correctly. I guess I didn't make any tests yet, so I can't find out if it works. And I think that I'm done working on this. I'll continue on with the rest of the SeriMaths application and edit this video and close all the tabs that I opened while working on this project. Let's reflect on that a little bit. The project. 10 hours over, what is it, 5 days? 3 days? Quite a few days. Took quite a few hours per day. Was it fun? Yes. I did have fun. The videos were interesting. The exercises were interesting. The concepts, once again, interesting. Did I learn a lot? I think yes, I did. Learned quite a bit of tensors, about the Python necessary to work with them, about how transformers work themselves. That was kind of the point of the project. Did I save the world in 10 hours? Unless this video is more widely successful than I anticipate, then the answer to that question is no. Did I make progress saving the world? I think the answer to that question might very well be yes, because I have gotten quite a bit better at mechanistic interpretability, learned quite a bit about the most powerful technology since 2017, which was transformers. Do I recommend other people do this? Yes. Do I recommend they compress it into 5 days and do 10 hours in 5 days on top of school? Maybe spread it out a bit better than I did. That might be good for you. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.